everybody, it is nighttime here, so the lighting might look a bit different, but I've decided to do the language tag. How many years later? 4 years later. So I did it 4 years ago, and I want to compare my answers and see if anything has changed. And I'm not going to look at the answers I gave in the previous video, but I might put some snippets of that in there. But I'm just going to answer the questions right off the bat. Question 1 is, what do you consider to be your native language? I think my answer is probably going to be the same, both Afrikaans and English.
English, Afrikaans, I don't know. Bilingual. So my family is Afrikaans and we speak Afrikaans at home, and I grew up overseas. So I think I've had more exposure to English than I've had to Afrikaans.
I grew up in an Afrikaans household, speaking Afrikaans at home, but I went to English schools my whole life. I think in English, I work in English, my videos are in English, so bilingual, English and Afrikaans. Question number 2 is, what was your first language learning experience? I think my answer is probably going to be the same. It was learning Urdu in Pakistan when I lived there as a child. I don't remember much of it because it was like 2001 and I was very small. But I learned how to write my name in Urdu, and I can still read and maybe write a little bit of Urdu, but I don't speak it at all except for Assalamu alaikum, Pakistan Zindabad, Shukriya, Ye bahut behenge hai. That's all I know.
We lived in Cape Town and they speak Xhosa in that area. And I had this swing that I used to swing on, and I called it Yaya, and I would say Molo Yaya to my swing. So Molo means hello in Xhosa.
Question 3 is, what languages have you studied and why did you start them? Maybe my answer is going to be much longer. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to try and make this short. Afrikaans, English, Urdu, French, trying to go chronologically. Spanish, yes, I did like a semester of Spanish in Pakistan and like half a year of Spanish in Dubai. Arabic, Korean, Japanese, Malay, Indonesian, Vietnamese, Hungarian, Tagalog, Kazakh, Russian, Estonian, Thai, Chinese. I think that's it. I could be missing something. I'm not going to give all the reasons for those because one of my recent videos is talking about my entire language learning journey. It's up here, which you can watch. That's where I explain why I learned all these languages.
Oh my goodness. Okay. English, had no choice. Afrikaans, born that way. French, started learning French at school in Pakistan. Also Urdu, so those were school subjects. Then we moved to Dubai and I took Arabic at school, so also a compulsory school subject. In 2009, I started learning Korean literally for fun. During the time I started learning Korean, I discovered Japanese music and stuff, so I'm like, why don't I learn this too? Then my parents moved to Japan and I was really much more motivated to learn Japanese. Also, during my final exams in high school, we call grade 12 matric here, so during my matric exams I was bored of studying for school and I'm like, I'm gonna learn all the languages, and I started learning Mandarin, Chinese,
Vietnamese, Indonesian, Malaysian and Thai.
And my most recent language endeavors are Hindi, because I love Bollywood and Hindi music, and Hungarian, since I've met a ton of awesome Hungarian friends.
Number 4 is, how does your personality affect how you learn languages? I am an introvert. I am an INFJT, which means I like to be alone and recharge, but I also like to meet with people and talk to people. I think languages have made me a lot more confident. I have a blog article about how language learning took my confidence from 0 to 100, which I will link below. But I like to study alone. I like to sit in cafes and study languages on my own, but I do like talking to tutors and talking to language exchange partners and friends in a different language. So I would say, you know, half introvert, half extrovert. Love talking to people, but it tires me out. So most of my studying is done alone or just through immersion online.
So as soon as I discover something new, like let's say I watched a Bollywood movie, I'm like, okay, time to learn Hindi, study. How I learn languages is like something small triggers it and it just snowballs from there. In terms of how I actually study the languages, not just why, I am a very visual person. So books, definitely I'm very tactile. I love books, I love writing, I make notes of everything.
Question number 5 is, do you prefer learning languages in a class or individually? Probably my answer would have changed. I think 4 years ago I would have said individually, not sure. But now I would say classes if it is one-on-one classes. So if I have a tutor who can prepare the curriculum for me, I would do one-on-one classes. I think group lessons sound like a nice idea. I've done some group lessons on Lingoda and that was pretty fun. And I'm considering signing up to the Alliance Française to improve mon français, but it's really expensive. But just seeing other people's faces after this global panini we've been in, I would consider group lessons for sure. I think it could be a good way to meet new people and get more speaking practice in, even though I think your progress would be either a little slow or very fast based on the tempo at which your classmates are going.
Definitely individually. I can go at my own pace, whether it's like a one-on-one class or if I'm teaching myself. I can do what I want when I want. I can skip over numbers because I hate counting. And I just feel like classes sometimes slow your progress. You'll always get that person who is either too fast or either too slow or not interested.
Question number 6 is, what are your favorite language learning materials? I would still say language learning apps because they're easy and quick on the go when you're doing stuff. So just sitting and commuting, it's great to use a language learning app. Multiple apps out there. I also am starting to like online courses. I've never considered buying somebody's online course, and I've just bought an online course package for Thai, and it has videos, so I like that. And I also like taking lessons on italki with language learning tutors, community tutors, just to get some conversational practice in. I prefer learning grammar through a textbook by myself, and then I take conversational classes on italki. If you are interested in signing up for italki, you can get $10 credits after your first $20 spend if you use the link in the description to sign up.
I guess I'm using apps a lot these days, whereas previously I would just use textbooks. I must say, my favorite way of learning languages is definitely music. I will translate songs. Even if I know 2 words in the language, I will go listen to a song and try and translate it.
Number 7, how much time do you spend actively learning per day or week? This differs for me every month. Some months are better than others. Sometimes I don't have time to study. Other times I have a lot of time. Right now I'm actively focusing on my Thai, so I'm dedicating a lot of time to it. I try and study in the evenings as much as I can, and then in the mornings before work or during my lunch break I have a 1-hour lesson, and then I also have the course I'm doing, which I just spoke about. So I would say I get about 5 hours of active Thai learning in a week, which is not a lot, but good enough for me because I have a full-time job.
I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm some like crazy language person who studies all the time, because I don't. I have a full-time job and a part-time job. And I just try and do something in the language every day. But if I had to give like a numerical estimate, I would say foreign language activity per day would be between 2 to 3 hours, which involves like listening to music and stuff, and actual studying per week would be about 3 hours. So that would be like 3 days a week where I would study for an hour at a time, and it varies from language to language.
Number 8, what are your short-term and long-term language goals? It depends on the language, but I would just mention the top 3 languages that I'm working on now, or top 4. Short term would be to take the Korean TOPIK exam and aim for level 6 again. Did I get level 5 or 6? How many levels? I got level 5. So I want to get level 5 again because level 6 is insane. I would like to take the Japanese JLPT Nihongo no Ryokushiken and get a level N2 because I got N3 before. I want to improve my French, so I'm considering signing up for classes again because I'm hovering around level A2, B1, which means my level decreased a lot. In high school it was level B2, and now I've forgotten a lot of my French. Hungarian, I want to do an intensive 2-week Hungarian course in Hungary, so I would just want to immerse myself completely in Hungarian. And Spanish, I want to improve and be conversational, and for Thai I also want to be conversational. I don't have any long-term goals except to keep improving and keep maintaining my languages.
I guess, does 1 year count for short term? Well, I've just signed up for business Mandarin Chinese lessons, so I guess my short-term language goals would be to improve my Mandarin and my Hungarian. And long-term goals, I would definitely want to be able to use my languages in my career one day. So I'd love to get a job in Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Vietnam, Singapore, or Hungary. Oh, and I need to up my French. That's really rotten. It's not even funny.
Number 9, what is your favorite language? This is probably going to change from what I said 4 years ago. I'm pretty sure I said Korean, but now I'm going to say Hungarian because I think it is the most legszebb the most beautiful language in the world. Beautiful sounding language. I'm just obsessed with Hungarian.
Currently it's Hungarian. I'm absolutely obsessed with studying Hungarian. It just sounds so beautiful. And in my head I just speak to myself all the time. I'm like, ki hónapján magyarul tanulok, szeretem nyelveket tanulni, and I love it so much. In terms of sound, I think Vietnamese is absolutely beautiful. And writing system, I think I'm very used to Korean. Handwriting is the most advanced in that language, so...
Next question, what is the next language you want to learn? Number 10. Romanian or Dutch, or continuing with my Vietnamese? Or Arabic? Too many to choose from.
All the languages I want to learn, I'm currently learning, but I guess a surprise could... Oh, wait, no, Norwegian! Norwegian, definitely Norwegian. It has so many similarities with Afrikaans. It is so weird. I think it'll be not too difficult to learn because of my Afrikaans background.
And the last question, what advice would you give to new language learners? Don't be overwhelmed by the resources that, if there are too many resources, and don't think that every language YouTuber has the perfect method. Try out a bunch of different methods to see what works for you personally with your schedule and your interests, and rather stick to one resource that you can really work through instead of jumping around and trying to use every resource out there and wasting your time.
The question I get asked the most, where do you begin when learning a new language? You just begin. Any start is a good start. If you're the type of person to prefer textbooks and lessons, go buy a textbook, go find a teacher, go do that. If you prefer to just learn vocab, do that. If you just want to listen to music and learn basic phrases without learning the alphabet, you do that. The only wrong way to start is to not start.
That's it. That's all for today.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye!